'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. I've travelled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Mooloolaba, Nambour, Roochdore, Kilmore, Marillaba, Birdsville, Emmaville, Wallaville, Connemara, Connemara, Strathrown, Proserpine,
Darkan.
Darwin, Gingin, Nilliquin, Muckdilla,
Darkan.
Bougainville, Cumberland, I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man.
There he is, our mate Les Morrison, better known as Lucky Star, and he's been everywhere. I wonder whether he's been to Darkan, and if he has been to Darkan, has he met Karen Harrington? G'day, Karen.
Hello, how you going?
Going well. You've got Neil here. The other voice you'll hear, and you've already spoken to, is Rob. You know what the first question's going to be? Hard-hitting journalism on this radio program. Where's Darkan?
Well, we're around 2 hours south of Perth and just over an hour east of Bunbury, so inland from Bunbury.
And it's all about farming.
Well, it is. We're a tiny agricultural town, and we are traditionally a sheep district, but as farming technologies have improved, we've been moving more into the cropping area, and we mostly grow canola and barley in this area.
If I was in Kalgoorlie and my destination was Perth, how far out of my way would I go if I wanted to go to Darkan?
Well, to be honest, I'm born and bred in WA, but I've never been to Kalgoorlie, so...
What?
I don't know.
All together now. What?
Yeah, I know. Look, I suppose you'd have to...
Well, how far south of the Great Eastern Highway are you?
Probably, that's another highway I don't traverse on. The Albany Highway, though, I tend to go on that every second day, so... If you're going from Perth to Albany, you would veer off when you get probably halfway down the Albany Highway towards Williams, and you veer off kind of west of Williams, and we're probably 25 minutes from the Albany Highway.
Right, apart from looking at sheep and yellow canola crops, what would be the reason to go into the Darkan township? What do you got going for you in there?
Well, I thought you might ask me this question, and I was thinking about it last night.
Sorry, no, we don't do research on this program, sorry.
Well, it is a question we get asked a lot because obviously it's a tiny town. And there's not, there's not one thing that sticks out that I can kind of spruik to you about our town. But I think mostly it's just, if you're looking for a bit of peace and quiet, it's the perfect place to come. It's just really pretty to look at, and you can just switch off. There's beautiful walk trails that you can go along. The town is only small, so you can easily walk through the town and look at different historical sites. It's just got a nice vibe to it, I think.
Coffee shops, sausage rolls, vanilla slices. What about that? You got a good bakery, because every good country town usually has a good bakery. How good's Darkan's?
Well, we don't have one. It's the answer. But we've just recently had our local cafe switch hands to some new people that have moved to town. So we're really hoping that once they find their feet, that they get the cafe up and running, and hopefully we'll have all those goodies.
Well, I reckon as I travel around, one of the great signs, when you see a sign under new management outside a shop, I'm going in there because there's going to be some good stuff happening.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. So it's a bit of a watch this space for Darkan, and the locals are keenly anticipating the opening date. So,
and if you put in your diary, Rob, the 1st of October, 2063, there will be a celebration of those new owners becoming locals.
Yes, right.
I hope it's a bit sooner.
Well, 40 years normally to become a local, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It might have decreased a little bit since there's not that many new people that moved to town. I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Relaxed a little bit. Perhaps.
Okay, so it's the sort of the parole kind of arrangement. So,
yeah.
Would Darkan be considered part of the Great Southern, as the folk in that part of the world like to call themselves?
We're in a unique area. So how all little country towns have entry statements. Ours is from forest to wheat belt, which I think sums up geographically where we are pretty well.
Yep.
Because we border the southwest, so that's your Bunbury area and your Manjimup and Boyup Brook, that kind of thing. So there's lots of trees and foresty type landscapes. And then as you come through Darkan, we tend to, the agricultural land is opened up, and then obviously the further east you go from here is you're getting into the wheat belt area. So we're kind of, our shire boundary touches on, different, the wheat belt, it touches on the southwest, touches on almost, towards the Peel region. So we kind of have the best of both worlds, really.
I've got to come to Perth for a long drive across the Nullarbor shortly, and I'm going to look at the map and I'm going to find a way to get to Darkan without causing too much inconvenience. It sounds like fun. I want to see how good this new shop owner is.
Well, and also the community has purchased the pub, so we're trying to get that open. So you might be able to come for a beer when you...
First week of November, we'll be there. So we go to Esperance and we come through that way. That will find you, will it?
No, nowhere near Esperance.
No, but we've got to get to Perth, so from Esperance to Perth, we'll drive through Darkan.
Oh, yeah, you can do.
Yeah, that's what we'll do then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so get a special order of Carlton Draft in, I would suggest.
Schnitty and a pot, and I'm going to the cafe for a sausage roll.
And it's a very pretty drive at the moment because all the canola's in flower.
Yeah, magnificent.
Excellent.
So it is pretty.
Now, you and I first ran into one another metaphorically, telephonically, in fact, on a podcast called The Regional 250, which I host, and you were a guest on there, and you talked to me about Darkan, and you were representing your LGA, the Shire of West Arthur, as I recall.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
That implies to me that there is an Arthur. What is a West Arthur? I mean, having the Shire named after West Arthur, do the East Arthurians get upset about that?
No, I don't think so. But Arthur refers to a river.
Ah.
We're west of the Arthur, so west of that river.
Right, because we've got a South Yarra, for example, in Melbourne, so it's a similar kind of arrangement.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. There is a book called... a local historian wrote it, west of the Arthur, and it details all the early pioneer families around this area, and it's for people who are interested in that kind of subject, it's a great book.
Because in Victoria we've got a town called Merboo North, but there's nothing at Merboo. There's a town called Yallourn North. Yallourn's a hole in the ground where it's now a coal mine. Up in New South Wales there's West Wyalong, but no one ever talks about Wyalong, and I thought West Arthur might be a bit the same.
Yeah, no, it's all to do with the river, which I think, well, obviously when historical settlements were happening, the waterways were an important part of where to develop the town site. So the Shire of West Arthur is actually quite a big shire, and it obviously encompasses Darkan, but there's another few towns that it's tinier than Darkan even, but yeah, there's another few towns that are within the shire as well.
Weather is such an important part of agriculture. You sounded like you're the one who balances the books. Rain is very important. We're not getting much here, and the farmers are starting to get a bit nervous. What's the agricultural landscape like around there? Have you got nervous farmers, or is everyone really happy?
It's a mixed bag across the state. Particularly in our region, it's considered generally a traditional safe rainfall area. But we are below average, and it did take a long time for the rain to come this season. So all the farmers were madly feeding their sheep and trying to get them through until the first lots of rain. We have had, we had about an inch the other day, so that was a nice spring rain to help finish everything off, but definitely below average. And as you go further out east, it definitely is a bit of a mixed bag as well.
Yeah, we're enjoying spectacular sunshine and warm weather over here at the moment, and the city folk are delighted, but the agricultural people and those getting their vegetable gardens ready are not very happy at all. So hopefully things change.
And it's it's obviously out of our control, but yeah.
Oh, Rob's got some friends in high places. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying.
Karen, we should let you go and spend your Saturday morning doing whatever people in Darkan do. I know many of them are probably tuned into the Two Blokes Chatting radio show most Saturday mornings from 7 o'clock your time. But great to have caught up with you again on the wireless. Thanks for telling us about Darkan. How many times do you spell the name Darkan and say, no, it's not E-N, it's A-N?
I don't even wait to be asked anymore.
It's a bit of a weird one, but never mind. Thanks for being part of the program, and we'll chat again.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Karen. All the best.
Karen Harrington there from Darkan in Western Australia.